Action Comics 998. Dan Jurgens writing, Will Conrad on the art. This wraps up the Zod Planet story, which is basically simply solved by Skeet, who did get blown up last issue. He basically goes into the Eradicator robots and has an army of robots that he can then fight with.
That's fantastic. God damn, I love Skeets. And I also love that Booster is put off by him having like a human-ish form, just because he's always this floating iPad, basically.
Yeah.
So they did exactly what we thought we were going to do. Like, you know, Lois and her dad are dead, but of course there's time travel involved. I will say I do like the one thing I do like about it though. I don't like it for the most part, but the one thing I do like about it is that Superman never knows that it happens. I like that it's Booster on his own who says, "I'm going to go back 90 seconds and stop that."
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it really loses some weight though, in the sense that okay, was the end of last issue, and then it's just end of this issue. Oh yeah, I guess we should resolve that.
Well, that whole, I just feel like the whole thing with Langamba was
pointless.
Kind of filler.
Yeah.
And also, you know, Booster literally just gives a whole page of a speech of never do this, no matter what, never.
Yeah.
Well,
and then immediately,
so
it's fine, I'll do it.
Well, but then he also knows that whenever he gets back to Vanishing Point, that if it's Rip Hunter, whoever is leading the Time Masters, is going to be doing for doing this. You know, because who knows what he's changed now. And you feel that after he makes that decision. So I'm fine with that. Him telling Superman, and it's also Superman learning the lesson. As much as you want.
If you're gonna tell me, he's really this against changing anything to the point of like that, like no matter what, nothing. I feel like that should be established long before, you know, like a page before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a literal speech a page before the event.
I agree. I like the emotion of the moment where he's like, "No, I'm doing this anyway, Skeets, get out of my way." I like the emotion of that, and just because he says something like, "Oh, he just watched his like first family die. I'm not letting that happen again."
Yeah, no, he just watched his world die.
His world. That was it. That was the line. Yeah. So I mean, I like that part of it, but for the most part, I mean, this arc's been kind of like, it started off well, like that first issue.
It's been super bumpy.
Yeah, and then it's been really up and down. Obviously, a couple of Brett Booth issues don't help, and then the Lois stuff's not been particularly great. It's felt like filler, and then this just feels kind of like a quick ending. Well, again, with a couple of nice elements, but for the most part, it was just kind of fight the things, get on the ship.
It could have been 4 issues instead of 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a question. You know, when they're talking about, you know, changing the Zod stuff, they're like, you know, so this never happens. He's like, hey, it's fine. That's the future. You can change that still. But
Do you know what? I'm glad you're
past.
I'm glad you're bringing this up, because I had that same question. Is like, well, yeah, but from your perspective, this is all the past. So what dictates what's the past and what's the future if you're time traveling?
Like the way he implies it is, no matter when he is, this present day in Rebirth, in comics continuity, that is the present, no matter where you are in time. So it's
hyper time.
Yeah.
So
explain what you mean by that, Matt.
So hyper time, with the way that the present works, it's not a straight line in that way. It's kind of a sliding scale. So with Booster, the fact that he came back in time, and he basically exists outside of time. So he can jump around on that sliding scale. So that's what that hyper time is.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain any of this. Like, how does that explain what the present day in comics continuity is the present day no matter what, and the past before that can't be changed, but anything after that, that can be changed. The future's not set. You can change whatever you want.
Yeah, that's always been the problem with Booster, though, right? Or even the Legion superheroes coming back and bringing Superman to their future. You know, like, what is exactly the future?
It's not a unique problem to this, absolutely, but he specifically says that in this issue.
Yeah, when you point it out, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, so the fact that it's a sliding scale, that's what always, for me, that's how I reason it.
As soon as he said it's the future, you can change it from present day, all I could think was, yeah, but if they go back in time to when Krypton exploded, that's present day now for them. So now they can change whatever they want.
Well, and that was the point of that whole side thing where they got the arcs off, and then we saw the what could have been for Clark, you know, on New Krypton. And then, because I think what they were implying is about Manhattan, like whatever changed the past and pulled Jor-El, it doesn't really subscribe to the stuff that Boosters encountered.
Yeah, we see, of course, them vanish with the blue light, so there's obviously a little bit of teasing there.
And again, you know, much like we got in Doomsday Clock, it was very much, okay, this is the last possible moment for it to have happened.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change anything before that moment.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it can always have happened this way. Mr. Oz has always existed and will have got to this point because, you know, as far as the timeline is concerned, he was always removed at that point.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. But the timeline's been changed. Like I said, a new timeline.
Yeah.
Because Manhattan came in and messed everything.
There's two separate times. One where, you know, he just dies and Oz doesn't exist, and one where Oz always exists. There is no, you know, it's one of those. It's completely binary.
Oh yeah, but it's not just that though. It's like that plus everything that New 52 did.
Sure.
Yeah.
That everything get changed. That's just one element of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just specifically.
That's why I just go to hypertime, guys. Just go, yep, hypertime, cool, boom.
This is not working like Speed Force, Matt. You can't just say hypertime and just brush it away.
Speed Force and hypertime are almost one and the same. I mean, they're pretty intertwined.
The difference is here is that they're specifically telling us exact rules, but the rules don't even hold up until the end of the sentence.
Necessarily, it's a rule as much of it's a philosophy of you can't worry too much about the future because the future is malleable. You know, so like your actions that you do right now, that's what impacts the future, not that the future is something.
If I go back in time 3 weeks, this moment right now would be the future to me. So can I change this? Because it's malleable then, but it's not malleable to us now.
Now, I think what could have been better explained, and the way I'm maybe going to interpret it here, is that when you're in your present day, for the present day you should be in, i.e. you've not travelled, the future is not set because all the actions you take in your life are what's going to shape the future anyway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He doesn't say that, but that's how I'm maybe going to interpret it to make it work. Is that, no, in your present day, where you're supposed to be Superman, you can do as much as you want to try and fix things, because that is your present day, and you're supposed to be affecting everything going forward. But going back in time, where you're not supposed to be there, is breaking the rules.
Well, that's... And again, I've brought this up a couple times, in the Booster Gold series, he goes back and tries to prevent the Killing Joke. But because, it's like Booster says here, the past is set concrete, whereas the present's a little bit more, it's kind of set, but not fully solid. So he goes back and tries to save Barbara Gordon.
Well, yeah, but that's what brings up the debate, though. He's from the future. Everything's the past. Everything should be concrete to him.
Right. Let me get to my point.
Okay.
So he goes and tries to stop Joker, and every time he gets the crap kicked out of him. And that sort of punter's like, no, you can't. Certain events are locked, and you can't change those.
No, but that's jumping to different. That's a different thing, though.
That's fixed point in time rules.
That's doing Doctor Who rules.
Yeah.
Right. So, just jumping off of there, that's the whole concrete. And so, but you're right with the what is Booster's present.
You can
right?
you can have either the past is concrete, or you can have fixed points and times can't be changed.
Right.
These are clashing
here. Can't do both. No.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, everything in the past is a fixed point in time, essentially. If the past is concrete.
I was going off of the rules John set up.
It's easy for us to say the past is concrete because we can't time travel, so we're just the past is fixed. We can't change it. In the future, we can change as much as we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah. Nonsense.
I don't know. I think you both are overthinking it about that.
I think they should just be consistent within their own issue. I don't mind when, all right, I get they're not going to line up with previous versions. It's fine, whatever. But just be consistent within your own single issue. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Yeah, because as soon as you said that line, I went, that doesn't work. We spoke way longer about Action Comics than I thought we would. What was it? There was a tease at the end for something. What was it? I'm forgetting now.
Well, no, he mentioned about something happening was a complete different timeline, and it kind of hinted at the Marvel, which I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, it was a Marvel joke.
The joke, the Alfred Jarvis thing.
Yeah. That's right. There was a Marvel joke.
They also hinted at a family reunion of sorts with Clark and General Lane, and him telling John that Superman's garbage.
Yeah, so that may be the next issues we'll get.
Yeah, it says next the General and the Superman. So.